Have you ever caught yourself asking, wait, what was I doing again? Maybe you walk into a room, or you're in the middle of juggling 10 different things at the same time, and suddenly your brain just stalls. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Welcome to The Practical Edge. We're here to strip down the old and rebuild a better you, helping you redesign your life with clarity, courage, and practical strategies. If you're ready to stop settling and start evolving, you're in the right place. I'll be your host, Bill in England. Now, let's get on to the show. For many of us, especially working parents, it feels like life is one never-ending to-do list. Work demands, family commitments, health, finance, keeping the house together, personal growth. It's all stacked on top of each other, and before we know it, we're not living the life we want to live, but we're living in survival. I know this firsthand, working 80 plus hours a week while trying to spend time with my family, keeping up with the house, doing any cooking, groceries, paying bills, managing investing. Oh yeah, and still trying to stay healthy, keep learning, and have some sort of personal life. The list is endless. I recall once seeing a finance charge on my credit card and I was extremely confused, only to eventually find I didn't pay off my full balance, thus being charged an interest fee. I had to step back and think of a better way, a simpler way to process this to ensure that all of my cards are paid off each month. At 26% interest, no way am I carrying a balance over, or is that ideal? As for keeping up with everything else, even when you're doing it all, you can still be left feeling empty, like you're moving through life on autopilot. There's actually a name for this called functional freeze. It's when we're so busy just keeping up everything afloat, keeping the kids healthy, paying the bills, showing up at work, that we stop feeling connected to what we're actually doing. We become task machines. We check the box, but fulfillment, joy, that spark that makes life meaningful, it slowly fades. And the dangerous part is, you can live in this state for months, even years, without realizing it. How does it show up? Functional freeze can look different for everyone. Maybe you notice you don't feel much emotion or joy in the things you used to love doing. You're there with your family, but you're not really there. You avoid certain tasks, not because you're too busy, but because you feel stuck. You find yourself zoning out when you have downtime instead of actually recharging, and you've lost flexibility and spontaneity while just moving through the motions. Does this sound familiar? That's freezing. That's survival mode. Here's a couple questions I suggest you ask yourself. Am I on autopilot with my family? Do I avoid tasks because I feel frozen, not just busy? Do I feel emotionally distant from people I love? Do I say yes to the things just to keep the peace instead of setting boundaries? Have I let go of some of the hobbies that once gave me energy, that made me feel fueled, inspired, and excited in life? If you say yes to several of these, you may be in a functional freeze. And here's why it matters. When we live in that functional freeze mode, it doesn't just affect us, it affects everyone around us. Our kids start to model what they see, bottling up emotions instead of expressing them. Our relationships shift from connections to transactions. Did you pay that bill? Can you pick up the kids? What's for dinner? And slowly, spouses, partners, and families can feel more like roommates than team. I was recently reminded of that idea while trying to keep the main thing, not to get lost in the weeds as easy as it can be for me. In other words, sacrificing quality time with my family in order to spend more time working so that I can spend more time with my family. And the unfortunate part is, as I watched my daughter grow older, each and every day, so am I. So is everyone around us, growing older each and every day. And unfortunately, aging is inevitable. If not, we've got another problem. So, how do we break this cycle? How do we break free? Here's a couple takeaways and a couple things to think about. Give yourself a moment to pause and reflect. Instead of jumping from one fire to the next, give yourself some downtime. Take 5 to 10 minutes each day just to pause, breathe, journal, write down a plan, write down what you want to accomplish for that day, and ask yourself, am I reacting or am I being intentional? When we attempt to do multitasks, we do nothing great. And we're not living in the present moment, but we're also shaping our mind and the physical aspects and physical structure of our brain to have a shorter attention span, affecting our ability to be more present long term. The second takeaway is reclaiming one thing that brings you joy. It could be a hobby, ideal exercise, cooking for fun, or even listening to music. Something that makes you feel human again, not just a task doer. And then connect. Don't just complete. The next time you're with family or friends, instead of asking, what needs to get done? Ask the question that depends on connections. Ask the question that deepens connection. What was the best part of your day? What are you excited about this week? Little shifts bring back meaning. In addition to that, it can help shape ideation of gratitude, which in turn has a foundational correlation to happiness. Life will always be busy. Responsibilities won't magically disappear. But here's the truth. You don't have to live stuck in a functional freeze. You can create space of intentionality, joy, and connection, even in the middle of chaos. So if you've been feeling like you're on autopilot, take this episode as a reminder to pause, check in with yourself, and choose one small action today that makes you feel alive again. And remember, your next level doesn't come from wishing. It comes from daily consistent action. Lean into discomfort and stay relentless. Average is optional, growth is a choice, and the practical edge is where you sharpen that choice. Until next time, stay focused, stay driven, and keep leveling up. Have a great day.